See about keeping these commandments. This is not what I expected out of them. The true Bible, the book of our fathers.
Right. The Most High has given us guidance on what we need to do.
Officer Eli.
Officer not showing.
Officer Ezekiel.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ blessed. Good to be with you tonight. I am Captain Dakar, and this is our weekly show that we have here, the Bible Book of Our Fathers. Good to be with you, Israel. The Sabbath is vastly approaching us, and so it gives us an opportunity to be able to come and get with you and bring out this gospel. And tonight, we got a couple of things. I got my brothers with me that we want to bring out. I'm going to lean back. Go ahead, officer.
Shalom Israel. Officer here.
Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Officer not showing.
Officer Zari.
Hey, all praises, all praises. We're glad to be with you, Israel. And the thing that we want to talk about tonight, we're going to be talking about more of like the valley of decision. There's a lot going on out there in the world. We was kind of just putting things together and just looking at, there's a lot that's happening. And, look, you can kind of see that a lot that's going on in and around Israel is not normal. If you're not keeping God's commandments, you're not being faithful, you're not walking upright, there's a lot of confusion in your life. I would imagine. You say, well, I got a good job. I'm telling you, there's a lot that's going on out there, and I'm telling you, it's not right. And a lot of things, people be sitting there thinking it's okay. I think we more or less like conditioned. You know what I mean?
Right, yes, sir.
And you have, there's things that's not right, and people accept what's not right. Like, it's okay. And did you see such and such happen? Did you hear about these things are not right? Mm-hmm. They're unlawful. And it's you have this environment that people are in, and it's chaotic. Mm-hmm. You have to live righteous. I'm telling you, to escape the opinion, judgment, the things that's coming here. That's why we're talking about valid decisions, because people have to make up their mind. They have to be able to fear the Lord and get their mind, their houses, set them in order.
You can clearly see that things are not the same as they were 10 years ago.
It's not, and we talk about it. I like going back on the things that I kind of have some understanding too. It was once upon a time you could actually unlock your doors. Mm-hmm. You try unlocking your doors now. Somebody be in your refrigerator.
Hey, Cap, you can lock your doors and they'll kick your door. They'll kick your door in.
And eat your food, right?
Yeah,
okay.
And eat your food. Yeah.
Right. I got you. Hey, Officer, help me out. Give me 1 Peter chapter 4:17. We're gonna start there.
Yes, sir.
Before we do though, hold that precept. Let us go ahead and get out our disclaimer. Can we do that?
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
Right. And, here we are saying that, we're not a part of anything like that. Like we was talking about a while ago, it's radical out there. It's just people are wilding. People are going off. They just, lady smacking a lady over a soup, throwing hot soup on her. Just people just going in.
You want to bring it out, Cap?
You want to
yeah, because people need to see what you bringing out.
Yeah, let's bring that video up. Bring it up right quick.
Just to show people what's going on. Show the the mindset of people today.
Because Israel, you have to understand is that when you hear and see, our people that we see like what's happening, and then we hear something, in this city they approaching over 100 murders, and you got that's not normal. That's just not normal. Don't be accepting that. Because it happened doesn't mean it's right. That's the point I'm making.
So it's like something is going wrong.
Yeah, it is. You have people sitting over there going off, like you said, over credit card things and going off over soup. And you got people, hell, you even got them damn men standing over there mad at them, talking about he in the wrong body, talking about why you calling me sir. You know, a whole grown-ass man.
Right.
You know, he's sitting there talking about, why you calling me stuff? Talking about he's in his wrong body. That's what he want us to believe. People are crazy. Listen, it goes worse than that. You have people that sit there and go to a clinic and leave a body in the clinic. I'm telling you, that's not right. That's not normal, Israel. We don't be partaker. Don't be sitting there thinking, it's okay. No, it's not. It's just not. And that's what we're talking about. This is a valid decision. We listen, things got to be done right. They got to be done just. They got to be done holy. And I'm telling you, if there be any good report, and that's what you want to have a good report at the end of the day. So here's this lady right here. Move the video over. Let's play it.
You may recall this horrific moment when a restaurant manager was accosted by hot soup. Well, the latest episode of the Out of Control Consumer features a woman who hit a manager at the restaurant when her credit card didn't go through fast enough.
This restaurant customer is about to erupt in a terrible act of violence. We should warn you, what's about to happen is disturbing to watch. The customer sucker punches the manager. The blow across the face is so hard, her glasses are flung off. Courtney Hickey is the manager of the restaurant in Columbus, Ohio. She says it happened when she asked the customer to reinsert her credit card.
I'm pretty sure I was looking down at the time when she did it because I just didn't even see it coming at all. I caught myself and tried to assess the situation as quickly as I possibly could.
It's just the latest attack on restaurant employees. Last month, this restaurant manager in Texas had soup thrown into her face. The culprit was arrested and charged with assault. Andrew Riggy is with the New York City Hospitality Alliance.
Most customers are polite and they're nice to restaurant workers, but for those that are obnoxious or aggressive, they need to know.
You know, look, we know about the airlines, right? You know how they've been cutting them out of the airlines. They've been, the stewardess, I think I seen a commercial or something, the stewardess, they in some kind of a defense class. They getting their ass tore up out there. You know, people tearing them up, so they sitting there trying to be able to fight back. But it's bad like that.
Hey, can I bring a skirt cap?
Okay, go ahead.
Let me get Matthew 24. Just read 12.
Matthew.
Read 13 too.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end.
No. 12 and 13.
Oh, I'm sorry. 12 and 13. Matthew chapter 12, verse 13. Then saith he to the man, stretch forth.
No. Matthew 24 and 12 and 13.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was in the right spot.
It's okay. I'm telling you, but it just goes into the unrest. Read that. Read it again, officer.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound.
So on earth today, iniquity abounds. It's prevalent across this whole nation, not this nation, on the whole globe, on the whole earth. Iniquity is abound. It's prevalent. It's everywhere you go. Read on.
The love of many shall wax cold.
So say it again.
The love of many shall wax cold.
And we know Esau don't love, you know what I'm saying? So, and our people follow that as well, you know. It's just hatred going forth across the earth. Read on.
Verse 13. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved.
And we know this is going to Israel because we headed to some tumultuous times. It's finna get bad on our people, okay? Read that part again.
But he,
the Israelite that come up under the faith and keep God's laws, but he, read on, or her,
that shall endure until the end.
Endure what? This wickedness that we seeing. This wickedness that's finna get far greater than what we seeing now. Read on.
The same shall be saved.
Then the Lord said you gonna be saved if you can endure. Well, how can you endure? You keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. You keep the faith in Christ. Read it. That's it.
You're absolutely right. You know, here's the thing. I know I got you holding 1 Peter. Go to Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Because
Ecclesiastes, sir.
Yeah, I want to go backtrack with the lady. I don't know the backstory, but I'm just going to try to fill in the. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
So the lady said that she was asked to run her credit card again. She said, listen, you need to run it again. And I myself, I had just recently had an experience where my card got declined. And I went out to the car, looked at the phone, the money was there, and went back in the store, it still declined. I had to use another card. It does happen. I'm not saying that she's justified in smacking a woman. That's far from what I'm talking about. But when you sit there and you add up all of that, she went to this store, they treated her some certain way. She went, you know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. So when she go through all this oppression, she just cut loose. She lost it. Mm-hmm. She literally lost it. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that it's justified by her, that we don't condone none of that. That's not my point. But I doggone guarantee you that wasn't something that she just went through that day. She'd been through probably a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't, that wasn't a moment. You know what I mean?
It was a build-up.
Yeah, it was a build-up to this. And so when you go places and stuff like that, or trying to rent a car, whatever, she's sitting over there, you get declined. You're working hard. You're working 2 jobs. You're sitting there trying to provide for yourself. You're not trying to do anything. She's trying to get this food and stuff like that. It could have been a bank error, whatever it is. But they do try you in things like that. They do mess with you and ask you to pay again. Can you swipe it again and stuff like that? I'm just saying. Read that script again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
Right. Here in Babylon, that's what happened to our people. A lot of times here, a lot of this wickedness that go on like this, it's just out of hand. It's out of control. We're going to talk about the valid decision. Go back to 1 Peter 4:17 again.
Right, Cap. Before you leave the point, or before you go somewhere else, the script that you pulled out, OCEL, where it said iniquity will abound. Exactly. That's the problem with our people, because they're so far in their sin, they don't even know the love of God. You know what I mean? They're covetous. They're, they have so much hatred for one another because iniquity abounds here in America. They don't know how else to act. Get Hosea chapter 4, verse 2 real quick. And most of the time, I know we show video, that was Jake going against Esau, but most of the time, a lot of the time, it's our own people against each other, because iniquity has abounded. They have no idea how to love one another. Go ahead and read that.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 2. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery.
This is all the stuff that our people is in the midst of right now. Stealing, killing, adultery, lying to one another. Because iniquity is abounding here in America, or like you said, across the globe. It's all over the place. Go ahead, read on.
They break out, and blood touches blood.
And that's the only thing we know how to resort to is violence against one another. The sister, what was that, in Brooklyn or the Bronx or somewhere in New York, the sister walked up to her, blew her brains out for whatever stupid reason. But that's the only way we know how to treat each other, because we do not have the laws of God in our mind. That's all I got, Cap.
Yeah, it does go to that. In that, there's when for us, you fear the Most High, and you take on that mindset. When you do those things that you hear in and around you, what's happening and how people conduct themselves, you be like, oh my God, that really happened. But I'd be like, hey, that's not normal. What's happening? And there's a lot of oppression that's among our people and sin among our people. You know what I'm saying? Right. They looking. That's why you have 52 people run into a store, and they all trying to take something out of the store at the same time.
Right. That's why you got another brother getting killed for cookie. Well, I don't know if it was for cookies, but it was at a cookie store. What was his name? Young Dolph.
Dolph.
You know what I mean? And pretty sure it was our own people that did that to that brother.
It was.
Yeah. You got a video on that? No, I'm just kidding. Read 1 Peter 4:17. Can we read that?
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. For the time is come.
Right there. The time is come. It is. The time is come. That's what we got to be about, Israel. We got to be about the Lord's work. We got to be about what's asked of us as a nation, as a people, that we're to hearken unto the will of the Most High. The time is come. Read it from the top again.
For the time is come.
It's been a while. You've been in captivity for a long time. It's time for us to recognize not only who we are, what we're commanded to do, and do the will of the Most High. And that's what we teach our people. And that's what we go out and try to gather in the elect. In doing such that we know that we can't be a partaker of what's going on in all this madness, all this confusion among our people. Yeah, we'll be an example. Yeah, we see what's going on. The Most High will eventually avenge us, but I'm telling you right now, we got to be a people knowing that the time is nigh. Time is winding up. It's just madness on every corner. It's just something. It's not the news cycle used to be like, you got something like out of the news. You're like, oh, such happened. News cycle is like every hour. It filters every hour. Something always happening. It's just changing. You can be on the top of the tread at 1 minute. Your story done went away. 2 hours later, they talking about something else. They done moved on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of issues that facing our people.
And then people forget about it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They do forget about it. Read that from the top again.
For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
So for us, that's what we're commanded to do. That's for us, we're to keep the commandments. For us, we're not to trust in our own. And that's what it is that here in this place, we find ourselves thinking that, trending after other people, other nations, that it makes us larger than life. We want to be accepted so bad that being among our own people, we find that we are so base that we're thinking that there's no help for us. But the more we come together, the greater that we become. We're great people. We just need to come together. Right. The nations are following us anyway. Mm-hmm. They're stealing all our ideas.
Right.
They're doing the things that we had, and they're giving it away. I was listening to somebody the other day. You had one of the I think Jay-Z actually said this. He said, well, what are they getting on me for? I was able to sell my company. You should have never sold the company. You should have held on to it. Mm-hmm. Should have gave it to your kids coming up. Give it to them. You know what I mean? You didn't have to sell it. Mm-hmm. It was already a great company. You was always going to make money off of it. But they didn't want him to have it. They ended up taking it from him. Mm-hmm. So he said it was, he tried to defend himself why he sold it. No, you should have held on to it. They don't sell their stuff. They pass it down to their kids. That's the mindset that they have. And they don't want us to have anything. Are you done with that, officer?
It's a little bit more on that.
All right, read that.
And if it first begin at us.
If it means that we have to keep God's commandment, we have to be an example. We have to be the people that's been faithful and not being lawless. Read.
What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?
Right. That's what you was talking about, Officer Nation. What about them that's not keeping the God's commandment? Mm-hmm. There's a judgment for that thing. There's a judgment for being wicked. There's a judgment for being a sinner or transgressing God's law. It's a terrible judgment. It's a terrible judgment, Israel. So what we must do? Let's get 2 Ezra 14:13 right quick. Get some of that.
2 Ezra, chapter 14, verse 13.
Yeah, start there.
Now, therefore, set thine house in order.
So, setting your house in order is bringing things under the will of the Most High. That's just really what our people need to do. Repent, get yourself in order, set your house in order, get yourself together, and do what?
And reprove thy people.
Be an example to the nation of Israel. Show them I was once callous, malice, but now I'm getting myself together. Look at me. I got this sister right here. She's my wife. These are my children. I got them in check. I'm doing things right now, bro. You remember back in the day. Yeah. But look at me now. Read that from the top again.
Now, therefore, set thine house in order.
It's commanded of us to set our houses in order, Israel. That's what we must do. We're not commanded to do what the other nations are doing.
Right.
We're not. What we're doing is that we're looking at them, but we're the ones that's a leader. We're the one who's given the covenant. We're the ones that have the agreement. And so for us, we have to be patient, get ourselves together, establish our houses, read on.
And reprove thy people.
Because our people need help out there. When you sit there and I'm getting news feeds and stuff like that, I'm seeing a young man at a bus stop in Kentucky and they ride by and spray him down. I'm sitting there getting news feeds that there was another up there in they pointed out 4 or 5 major cities. One was Memphis, one was up there in Connecticut, one was down in Kentucky, and they said that it's getting bad. And they're doing a lot of DBs now. That's drive-bys. Y'all know what they are. They're doing a lot of that stuff, and they smoking. So the crime is up. It's going up, just shooting innocent. They say a lot more innocent people are dying. Mm-hmm. You know, you sitting there saying, well, I want to go down to this festival. I want to go over here and this, that, and other. I'm telling you, you might not make it up out of there. Mm-hmm. You better be wise. You know, because it's happening don't mean that you need to be there. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of evil out there. Mm-hmm. You got to be, All
over.
I'm telling you, you got to be mindful. It don't make no sense. You know, and, you know, the story was saying there was a lot of innocent people dying, getting shot up. And the people, four people was at a bus stop, and those 4 people that got shot, all of them didn't have nothing to do with nothing. I'm like, that's crazy. Didn't have nothing to do with it, and they all got blasted. So be mindful out there, Israel.
You just read it, Cap.
Read it again.
That's in that 2 Peter.
Read it again.
Go back. Let's go back.
2 Peter
4 and 17.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
For the time is now come. I'm sorry. For the time is come.
For the time is come that we got to be wise. We got to put on our righteous garments. We have to be renewed in the spirit of our mind. The time has come. There's no longer for you sitting out there conducting yourself, acting like that, going and living quote unquote independently. You know, set your house in order. Bring forth a sister. Marry a sister. Deal with her right. Help raise the children. Do that which is right. You know you got children. You have many of your children. Some of them, look, you know what you did, but you can all recover that through the will of the Most High. Read on.
For the time is come that judgment.
That the truth, that when Christ come here, that the things that's happening, you say, oh, my baby, that's judgment. That's judgment. It is. It's just judgment. That's what it is. And we be thinking, oh, that you know, she was only 14. Hell, they shooting people at the doggone bus stop at 14 and killing them. Mm-hmm. It don't make sense what you're saying. Read on.
That judgment must begin at the house of God.
Must begin with us as a people. Get ourselves together. Stop living a life, conducting ourselves like that. That's not no way to live. We can't be proud of our people. We can't be proud of ourselves. Yet we're the gifted, most talented, yet blessed, favored, walking with the most high covenant people they are. But that's not what we're commanded to do. That's hatred for yourself and for your people. Is that all that?
And if it first begin at us.
If we find out that our people are catching hell, read on.
What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?
That's why we're trying to keep these commandments. We're trying to endure.
That's heavy. That script heavy. I seen something here. Read that again.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
So in this during this time, Peter was speaking to who? The Israelites that repented and was coming back into the faith, keeping God's laws. Mm-hmm. Okay, they was coming out of the Greek captivity. Okay, they had Greek customs, so they didn't. A lot of them, you know, they didn't know who they were. A lot of them did. You know, they didn't know they must keep God's law. Okay, so but they was coming in learning that hey, we got to keep God's law to be saved under Christ, right?
Right.
So read that 17 again.
For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
So Peter was speaking to them. It must begin at the house of God. Those of us that are converting back to the laws. Read on.
And if it first begin at us.
He said, and if it begin with us, meaning we, even though we come in under the laws of God, even though judgment begins with us. Read on.
What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?
So what the end going to be to them that don't keep God's laws? And basically it's touching on what you're bringing out, Cap. Mm-hmm. You got drive-by shootings. Right, you got a lot of innocent bystanders getting put to death. Because, you know, this is what the scripture's talking about. Them that obey not the gospel of God. Right. Those are the ones that are these innocent bystanders getting put to death. Okay.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Get Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39, because what oh, you was gonna go to it?
No, you good. You good.
What our people don't realize, like the also was just bringing out, they're being judged for not keeping God's laws because they're in the midst of iniquity, in the midst of sin. Go ahead and read. They don't even realize who's doing this to them.
Right.
They don't realize the power that's out there. They say that they read the book, the good book, and all of that, but they don't even realize who they're dealing with. Go ahead and read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39.
Uh-huh.
See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me.
Most High said, there ain't no God with me. I'm the only God. I'm the only true power. I'm the only almighty. Go ahead.
I kill.
What'd he do? He said, I kill. So them drive-bys and 4 innocent people, like Captain Descartes mentioned, them 4 innocent bystanders that was out there where they probably shouldn't have been out there in the first place. Most High God said he do what?
I kill.
He killing those innocent people for judging, for whatever judgments that they had coming to them. Go ahead.
And I make alive.
And he got the power to make alive. Read on.
I wound. And I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
So the Most High God is saying, when your number's called, there ain't nobody that's going to save you out of that thing. So it's in your best interest to get right with the Most High while you got time, while you got that grace period, while you here on the earth right now. And a lot of people talking about they can't wait until Christ come back. They don't know who's coming back. They don't know what type of person coming back. Get real quick, Cap.
Bring it out.
Amos chapter 5 verse 18, and then get Habakkuk 3 and 16. They don't understand who they dealing with. They don't understand the Christ of this Bible. They're not reading. There's no way you can be reading and talk about you can't wait for Christ to come back. There's no way you reading the same Bible that we reading. Go ahead and read that.
Amos chapter 5 verse 18.
Woe
unto you.
It say destruction unto you. Go ahead.
That desire the day of the Lord.
That say, oh, I can't wait till Christ could come back and come to be our Lord and Savior, our King, this, that, and this. But you not keeping no laws. You better want some more time. You need that time. You need that grace. Go ahead.
To what end is it for you?
That's a heavy question right there. To what end is it for you? If you in the midst of sin, guess what? It said, woe to you. It's destruction that's coming to you. Most High God said he kill, he make alive. Those are the things that's going to happen to you. Go ahead and get the other script, and I'm going to give it back to Cap. Habakkuk 3:16.
Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 16.
Let's see how Habakkuk felt when he was given the vision of when Christ returned. Go ahead.
When I heard, my belly trembled.
He said, go ahead, read on. When he heard of that day, and he seen that vision, when he heard of that, his belly trembled. Meaning he was nervous. He was shook at what was going on, what he was seeing. Read on.
My lips quivered.
His lips was quivering with fear. Again, our people don't realize who they dealing with. When you in the midst of sin, you going to be judged by the Most High God and His Son Jesus the Christ. Read on.
My lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones. And I trembled in myself.
The scripture that we just read before said, what did it say? Woe to them that desire the day of the Lord. Habakkuk said he trembled. He was scared. Go ahead.
That I might rest in the day of trouble.
He was so scared, Cap, that he ain't even want to. He was like, man, I pray that I'm in the grave when that day come. People talking about, I don't even want to be there. They talking about, oh, I can't wait till Christ come back and get us out of here. You better want all the time that you can get. Go ahead, read on. Finish it up.
When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops.
It said Christ is going to invade them with his troops. All right, so that he coming back for destruction. It said, woe to them. Go ahead, Cap.
Oh, you already hitting on it, though, bro. You already
I know.
We going to have to put some brakes on you, bro. But you're absolutely right, though, officer. The thing of it is that, here, one of the things that I would say that, I kind of, you see it, and I kind of wrote it down. And so what I noticed was that here in Babylon, they're always telling people to trust their process, trust the process. And so when I was kind of listening at how they was conducting themselves, whether it's on the job, even I think it's in sports, they tell you, hey, trust the system, trust the process, right? They be falling for that thing. And then companies, they do that, people like, hey, it worked for me, right? Look where I'm at. Trust the process. And so when I was looking through it, they said, hold a vision, trust the process. Goes on and said, it's a lot of them. Never depend on others, trust the process. It just goes on. And it just talks about trusting the process. And so that's what it is. It says, even here in America, they teach us, whether, like I said, job, sports, even at whatever situation is, even in meetings. But the Bible tells us not to trust in man. It tells us not to do that. It tells us not to lean out to our own understanding. So with that, we're going to go to Proverbs chapter 3 and 1. This don't make no sense. They're asking you to trust in them. Trust the process. No. If you look in and around yourself, you see you're inundated with much evil. Mm-hmm. You know, the sins of the earth are multiplied. What are you talking about? Trust this. You know, that's death at the end of this thing. Read that from the top.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
My son, forget not my law.
So we've been given laws. So he says to the nation of Israel, hey, don't forget about my laws. Understand this is the way, this is the light, this is the salt of the earth. This is what's going to be the way that you're going to be able to walk on the earth. Read on.
But let thine heart keep my commandments.
So let your mind be renewed with that, what he's taught us and what he has given us. And we have to cultivate. We have to practice. We have to apply. We have to be able to get our minds right, cast down those imaginations. Israel, we have to be a people that sought after or fallen after righteousness. We have to come out from under this world. We have to be separated. Your life, your existence depend on this. Read on.
For a length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee.
So when you do the will of the Most High, look at the exchange. So a while ago we was talking about youth dying at 14 years old, or some of them leaving the earth at 16, 18 years old, right? Mm-hmm. But he says that the way that you can able to stay on this earth longer is, read that part again, read that again, the length of days.
For a length of days and long life.
And long life. This is how you get length of days. You apply God's laws. You fear God. And God will watch over you. He will protect you. But if you be a Negro, if you act niggard, you're going to get justice and judgment that's going to come from the Most High. That's what Officer Nation was bringing out, that he bring forth life. He heal, he wounds. And that's what I'm saying. You be like, oh, you know, my daughter, oh, my son, my cat and my dog, whatever the case may be. That's a judgment in this matter. And that thing is of the Most High. I'm telling you. There's no sense for us to be acting in any kind of way. We have to fear him. We have to come back to who we are. And I'm telling you, we're struggling as a people. We see a lot of our people having a hard time out there.
So we, like you said, we got to come back here. Come back and keep keep God's law. Mm-hmm. It's something in God's laws that he's trying to get over to us. He's trying to convince us that that's what we must do. Okay, that's what you read throughout this whole Bible. Come back to God's laws. Mm-hmm. Let's get Baruch 4 and 1. Watch this. Watch this real quick. The Lord trying to tell us something. Like, it ain't no other way that we can go around it. We must keep his laws. Okay? That's the way the Lord set it. That's how he set it up. Okay? His people got to obey him. Read that.
Baruch chapter 4 verse 1. Mm-hmm. This is the book of the commandments of God. Mm-hmm. And the law that endureth forever. He
said, and the law that endureth from forever. God's law is going to be here forever. Okay, it was here from the beginning. When he said, let there be light, his laws took precedence over the earth. Okay, like even today, we not keeping his laws. Us as a people as a whole, we're not keeping his laws. So why? Now we in the position that we in. We're on the bottom of society. Right. And so that's why we in this situation. Read that from the top again.
This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever.
So the laws, Israel going to always have to keep God's laws. It ain't going nowhere. It said the law that endureth forever. You always going to have to keep God's laws. Read on.
All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
So, man, you gonna get eternal life if you keep God's laws. But if you don't, you gonna get the eternal fire. Right. Read on.
Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of light, of the light thereof. that thou mayest be illuminated.
He said that thou may be illuminated. The Lord wants us to be illuminated in this world and this wickedness. He wants us to stand out, keeping His laws in this wicked world. He wants us to be that example, like in what's that? Psalms 96 and what's that? 15, 94 and 16. Somewhere in there. Who will rise up to me? Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
Yeah.
Okay. The Lord wants us to stand. He wants us to stand strong for His laws. He wants us to be. He wants us to love His law like how He loved it, like how Christ loved it.
But that's loving Him. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Now, you loving the Most High. You know, He said, if you love me, you'll keep Him. You know what I mean? You're applying them.
Exactly.
That's the love that you have. That's what He wants. You right?
Exactly.
And that's the only process that we should have. That's the only process that because you was talking about the process.
Right.
You know, that's the only our problem is that our people are trusting in the process of America and not trusting in the process of God. Get Sirach 2 and 1 and then jump to 6. I ain't gonna hold cap up.
No, that's good. That's good. It made me think of something there. There you go.
Yeah, because the only process that we should be trusting in is the Word of God, is the Bible. That's it. That's the only thing that's going to help get our people out of sin, out of the conditions that we're in, the murders and the drug dealing that's going on in our communities, the prostitution, the abortions, the drunkenness, the getting high. That's the only thing that's going to stop it. Go ahead, read that.
Sirach chapter 2, verse 1.
Trust in this process. Read on.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
So prepare your soul for temptation, because in those temptations, you're going to get your mind right because you're trusting in the process of the Lord. He's going to show you the way that you got to maneuver out here. All right, read on. And it's not smacking people across the face because your credit card ain't working.
Right.
That's not the way you're supposed to conduct yourself. You conducting yourself the same way that they calling us animals, this, that, and this. You perpetuating that same stereotype against our people. That's not royalty right there. Go ahead, read on.
Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure.
Jump to verse 6.
Verse 6.
So this is the process we got to trust in.
Believe in Him.
Believe in Him. We know that Sirach, what's that? 24, 32, 24. To believe in God is to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Believe in Him. Read on.
And He will help thee.
And He will help thee. That's the process that we gotta abide by. All right, read on.
Order thy way aright.
Right, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
And trust in Him.
And trust in Him. Believe in Him. Follow that process. That's the only way that we're going to be righteous in the sight of the nations. That's the only way we're going to be living like royalty. That's the only way we're going to get saved out of this captivity that we in to this current day. All right, Cap.
Yeah, because you touching on something, but that's the process like you was talking about. So when we was reading over there in Proverbs chapter 3 and 1, it said that the Most High would keeping the commandments. He went on to say that the length of days He will add to us, and that He in that that's protection, there's healing in that, and it's all that because why? Let's go back to that. Read verse 2 again. Give me 3 and 2.
Proverbs chapter 3 verse 2. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee.
Stop right there. So the fact of the matter is that mercy and truth, He said, don't let this forsake you. Right? And what it is, Israel, we got to be a people that we have a love one for another. The very calling on your life is to love your brother as you love yourself. That's the whole calling. That's the whole mercy and truth in of itself. Because what happens is that when you get to the point where you have, you can extend yourself over somebody, or if you have a meal and you share it with somebody, that's that love that you have for somebody else. That more the same love you would want somebody to do for you. The point I want to touch on, the mercy and truth. Give me that in the book of Zechariah 7 and 9. Because it says here, don't forsake mercy and truth. Don't forsake. He said, don't forsake that, because that's the cause, that's the purpose that we're following Christ. He gave you mercy and He gave you truth. Even out of all of what we did, he gave us these two things that we needed most. We needed mercy and you needed truth. That's the thing that makes us viable today. If you take these commandments forward, we go back to niggard. You'll go back to that thing. But it's yet he's giving you something that you can't even pay for yourself with all your little fake Gucci bags. I'm sorry, I just had to go there.
Bring it out.
Don't make no sense. A price you can't even pay. And you trying to look like somebody else. You trying to feel wanted. You trying to be accepted. I'm telling you, it goes into being smitten with madness too. Don't make no sense. Whatever state you find yourself in, you need to learn how to be content too. I'm telling you, this world is not holding up. It's crumbling around us. Things are coming down. The government is a shadow government. They just wearing neckties and suits right now. That thing ain't even for real up there. Talking about, can we get your vote? That thing ain't even working. Walk around with a sticker talking about I voted today. What you get for it?
Right.
We ain't got nothing for that thing. Talking about things gonna be different now. Hell, we catching hell more. Oh, crazy Joe. Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. It don't, Israel. Read on.
Zechariah chapter 7, verse 9.
Read that.
Thus speaketh the Lord.
So the Lord say do what? Read.
Of hosts, saying, execute true judgment.
So when we see our people doing wrong, when we know that things are not right, yeah, there's judgment for that. And we have to execute true judgment. Be right. Deal with your brother right. Deal with your sister right. Don't deal with them any kind of way. Deal with them right. That's what we have to learn how to deal. Our people don't know how to deal. People counsel for themselves. You got all kind of stuff, hidden motives, secret agendas. Stop that. Stop that. Love your neighbor as yourself. How you want to be treated. Come across like you are. No, you having trouble too. We don't see we don't see your numbers in your bank account. It ain't none of my business. Hell, you say, well, I got it like that. Well, all of us don't have it like that. And even if you do, you at the end of the day, they're gonna still tell you, swipe your card again. They can tell you what they want to tell you. If they want to. Read on.
And show mercy.
And do what?
And show mercy.
So in Proverbs, it was telling us that don't forsake these things. Don't forsake mercy in truth. That's what we have to do. We have to have that heart where you have to be going a lot farther with your brothers and sisters. Show them mercy. Yeah, you can deal with them on true judgment. Execute righteousness, true judgment. Deal with them right. Just deal with them right. Because they may have made a mistake. Yes, they went off. Yes, they was wrong. But still deal with them. They got a chance to get themselves right. All this evil in and around us, that thing is crazy out there. And you can't be patient with your brothers and sisters. Come on, Israel. Because that's what we're talking about. In the valley of decision, we strive and we all trying to make it. So it's important that we sit there and be long-suffering with each other. We have to. Read on. There's more to it.
And compassions.
And what? And what?
And compassions.
And is that got an S on it?
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. You have to have compassion one for another. Listen. Anybody can correct anybody, but you have to show mercy. You have to be able to deal with them justly. You want to see them recover. That's kind of like the hospital, right? You have somebody that's sitting there ailing and stuff like that. They bring them into the hospital. They begin to help them and stuff like that. They begin to get in the medicine, whatever the matter may be pertaining to or their illness, but they begin to recover. They begin to get better. That's the same thing with us. It's the same thing. Read on.
Every man to his brother.
Treat your brother, treat him like you want to be treated. It's the same thing. That's what it's talking about in Leviticus. It's the same matter. And what's wrong with our people? Let's see. Read on.
And oppress not the widow.
So we got people that's coming in here. We got sisters that comes into the body. They don't have lords and stuff like that. You say, well, that's a widow. That's an older woman. We got them too. We got them too. We got to be mindful, Israel. So hold that. Go back to verse 3, Proverbs 3:3.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 3. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee.
Read.
Bind them about thy neck.
Right, that's how you conduct yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be dealing with somebody that's going to need you to be extending some charity to them. We know we're gonna have to deal with them. We got to deal with them. We got to execute true judgment. That's not missing. But we're trying to get them to be able to make the decision they need to do to get out of this place. We want to get up out of here. Read on.
Write them upon the table of thine heart.
Put them in your mind. Read.
So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man.
So God likes that thing. And your brother be like, hey, that brother, he dealt with us. He corrected us and stuff like that, but he showed us a way how to get ourselves together. I appreciate that. That's getting the love of the congregation.
Right.
It does. It takes a minute. It takes time. Don't nobody want to put that kind of work in, but we can, though, Israel, if we be patient with our people, because we got to help them. This thing is winding up. This thing is deteriorating about an hour. It's deteriorating about an hour. It's not holding up. It's just not. I was thinking about something the other day, and it maybe I was in Isaiah chapter 30, and it talks about that. Let's get that. Isaiah chapter 30 and 12 right quick. And this happened. I forgot what year it was. I might want to look it up, but a lot of you all may know what I'm talking about. This would happen.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon.
So our people, here think that they this is, yes, we're here for that reason, to get ourselves together. That is true. We're here to repent and get ourselves together. That's the making of what we are. Understand, Israel, this is not our rest. Don't get that confused. This is not your rest. It's just not. Read that again.
Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon.
So there was a company that you all may know, and it was called, the company was called Enron. It was. You remember Enron? Y'all remember the company?
I remember.
You know what happened to all those people?
They scammed all the people
They
for their
scammed
money.
all the people. Enron took all the people's money. They had been there for 20 whatever.
With that Ponzi scheme.
The people, the people just they left there with nothing. After all those years, they had worked for Enron, and they gave them nothing. The company gave them nothing. That's why it talks about even the scripture tell us that get me that. Hey, got seal houses. Can I get that?
1 and 5.
1 and 5. Pull that right quick, because that's what we're not to do, Israel. Trust the process, believing in this society. I'm telling you, as we go, we're gonna filter through some of these videos at some point. But I'm telling you, this is all coming to an end. So it behooves us to set our houses in order, get our minds aright.
5 or 6.
I think it's 5. Is it 1 and 5?
1 and 5.
Yeah.
The book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 4.
4.
Is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses?
Is it time for you to sit there and get comfortable here in Babylon? Is it really time for you to do that? To sit there and say, I'm good, I'm comfortable, my barns are full? Is it really time? What kind of houses they lived in? Read that again.
Is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses?
That tells me right there that you don't really have nothing. Even like you think you comfortable, you really not. You think they could shut down your account tomorrow.
I got my pantry.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I'm telling you, they can change it just like back to the example again. Swipe your card again. You sitting there thinking you got a whole lot of money. I'm telling you, it can be there today and gone tomorrow.
I got money in my account. I mean, what are you talking about? Swipe my card again. I got money.
It just don't trust in oppression. Don't get to the place, Israel, where you thinking that that you good. This is not our rest. This is not it at all. This is not it at all. The mindset you want to have. I tell you what. Read on, officer. Read that.
And this house lie waste,
and the Most High house not being conducted, not being filled. That's what we want to put our trust in. That's what Proverbs was bringing out to us. That's what it was saying, that put our trust in the Lord. Get me that. I'm gonna show you. Pull Hebrews 11 and 13. the point I want to back up, because sometimes we find ourselves thinking that we're good. I'm telling you, Israel, don't do this. It's all subject to change. You know, they can turn around and say that all the markets are closed, all the banks accounts are frozen. They can do that. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Yeah, exactly. Nothing. Run out to the ATM, the line gonna be like 75 people long or something, trying to snatch a few dollars out. You're gonna be stuck like Chuck.
That money gonna be gone.
Yeah.
They're gonna pull all that money out.
Don't make no sense.
And that day, that money ain't gonna mean nothing.
So read that.
11 and 13.
Hebrews 11 and 13.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off.
Right. They trusted in the things that God had promised them. They all died, but they yet still held fast to what the Most High told them to hold fast to. They had their trust in the Lord. They trusted wasn't in the things that was in and around them. These all died. Read that from the top again.
These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off.
Having seen them afar off, because they knew that the Most High was faithful. He was not a man that he should lie, nor a son of man that he should repent. They trusted in the Lord. Read on.
And were persuaded of them.
And they was persuaded of the promises, knowing that God was going to do what he said he was going to do. That's what we have to be too. Don't get caught up in this society. I'm telling you, social media, that's just magic. That's all that is. Don't get caught up in that stuff. Bitcoin. Sound like somebody might bite you or something, bite you or something. Bitcoin. Come on, really, Israel. I get it in terms of what you're trying to do, but hey, don't trust in those things. Don't trust in uncertain riches. Don't do that thing now.
Not in this kingdom.
No, I'm telling you, it's falling down. It's coming down. Read on, officer.
And embrace them, and confess.
And do what?
And confess.
Read on.
That they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth.
That's what they confessed, that they were strangers and pilgrims. That this is not my rest. This is not where we go. This is not it. This is not what we're trying to achieve. These are not the goals we're trying to get. But they confess that, hey man, we like pilgrims. We just really just passing through here. This is not our home. And that's where we have to have that mindset to know that this is not where we're supposed to set up at. This is not what we're going to post up at, Israel. This is not the post up moment. This is not it. Is that all that?
For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country.
That we're seeking a kingdom. That's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on the kingdom. So let's not get it. This is not home. We're pilgrims passing through. That's what we're doing. We're just making our way through here. So the process that we're leaning on this is not the process. No, they say trust the process. No, we're not trusting in uncertain riches. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So
we ain't trusting the Esau process.
Exactly.
Right. We trusting in the Lord's process.
Exactly. And so the Most High said he would have mercy on us as a people. And so that's where our strength come from, because we trust in the Most High. Let me get me, you got something?
I don't want to cut you off, Cap.
All right, go ahead.
Can I get Psalm 91? Because the Lord tell us to trust in him. Mm-hmm. This is what we want to trust in.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse, you want to start at verse 5?
I'm going to start with 1.
Verse 1?
Yeah.
Psalms, chapter 91, verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
So, when you read that part again, it said, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High. The secret place of the Most High is what? The Bible. Okay, because it was a secret to us at one point in time. We didn't understand the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So read that from the top again.
Psalms chapter 91, verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
So when you up under somebody's shadow, that means you hidden, right? Mm-hmm. So the Most High got you. You're hidden from all the wickedness and the evil.
Right, you protected.
You protected. Mm-hmm. So the Most High. So as long as we in these scriptures and we doing the best we can to abide by what He told us to by His laws, statutes, and commandments, then we under that shadow. We know we protected. Read on.
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In Him will I trust.
That goes into the protection, and we trust in that protection. Keeping the God's laws, we trust in that He's gonna fend for us. No harm gonna come to us. Read on. And if the harm do come to us, then we trust that the Lord got us. Read on.
Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler,
of the traps of the fowler be going into the wicked oppressor. Read on. He said He's gonna do what now? Read it from the top.
Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. Okay, so He said He's gonna protect us from those traps that they're gonna set for us. Those are the snares. Or snares a trap, and the fowler would be Esau today, the person who's ruling. So the Lord is using a metaphor. He's using a fowler as a bird catcher. Okay, that's using traps to catch birds, but He's using His people. Let's show that. And what's that? Zechariah 12:9. Okay. Is it Jeremiah 12:9? This what I want, Mr. Precept. Jeremiah 12:9. I think that's what it is. Read that. Jeremiah chapter 12.
Hold on, let me see. Let me look at it. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, sir. Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
Who's God's heritage? Israel is His heritage. He said, my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. So he's explaining Israel as being a bird. Read on.
The birds round about are against her.
Okay, read on.
Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field. Come to devour.
Okay, go back to where it was at. So I just want to bring it out to show who's the bird the Most High is referring to. Read that part again, and then we'll get back to Cap.
Psalms chapter 91, verse 3. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence.
That's it on that.
Hey, okay. Shalom, Israel. Listen, we coming up on our break. Hey, the brothers let me know back in the back over there. Tell me, Cap, hey, wind it up. All right, Israel, we'll be back with you. Hey, we're going to take the small break this week. Bible Book of Our Fathers, Valid Decision. We'll be right back.
If I walk time, meditate there upon my mind. Hands press boot off his shine. Man terrible in a war time. Dream team. Well, if I walk then it is roll deep down, red bloom, pull up then lock down street. X5 jump out and it board door Jeep. We match black pants and boots down feet. Let me reach for the back. Pull out the heat, man I spray with the weapon and I listen to my teach. In a war time, we no do trace like girl. We no take tough chat, reach boy teeth. I'm a heart too cold, man I know about mercy. Cops and marrow on the damn concrete. Hey, all I shot black, why me no skin teeth. Every nose for me grim, man come and set me reap. Blood reach to the regular. This what I lead, any weapon just a ring up. Come and set the pan repeat. Man a victory dance, cause they boy them get the feet. Last man standing, so the mission complete. You see that hard time, meditate there upon my mind. Hands press boot off his shine. Man terrible in a war time. Dream team in a war time. Meditate there upon my mind. Pants press boot off his shine. Man terrible in a war time. Dream team. You know if you them and them come to only wisdom when them have business that wisdom too. You forget the W, you just eat them.
Redemption, yeah. We've been waiting for this. We've been praying for this. I hear the sound of God in the air. All of the nations, they tremble with fear right now. Right now.
afraid. King of Kings come and lead the way. Make the heathen pay and let Edom fade. Bring the kingdom back to us so we can stay. Hey, I can't even fathom what the Lord got in store for us. As long as the rivers are source, not force course. Running with a horse and 12 deck with a garment. You can hear us coming like top floors of apartments. No longer harmless, like the calm of the storm for the bomb hit. We 11 at ours. Everything costs. Nothing get absolved. Everything that's involved. So you gotta be cautious. You don't want to get nostalgic. Nothing gonna ever be the same. Giving all praise to the sun for the power and the drums, cause the weather bringing rain. Cook and settlers remain. You'll never be forgiven for your Hellenistic pain on the people that the Lord gave a heritage and name. This is for the pessimists and pain. We don't need the evidence is plain. Lord paid the guy when he is guilty. Everything he put his finger on filthy. He won't get it will. Bring him to a shame.
I hear the sound of God's in the air. All of the nations, they tremble with fear now. Right now. Our redemption is here.
Glory, redemption. Honor, glory, redemption. Honor, glory, redemption.
Our redemption is here.
Hey, we back with you, Israel. That Hebrew journal is blazing. I'm
like
telling you,
I
see
like
that thing?
Commercial, yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah,
man, that was
heavy.
fire. I'm telling you, Israel. Hey, okay. All right, with that, glad to have you back. The second part of our show. Glad to be here with you on this week, the Bible Book of Our Fathers. We're getting a chance to talk about Valley of Decisions, and there's a lot going on. We're going to touch on some videos. We'll bring out a few videos, but we want to make sure that people have a good understanding of what it actually takes and what's going on in and around them. So we just want our people to be wise and make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. We're trying to reach our nation. We're trying to gather in the elect. And so, yeah, we see these conditions. Yes, we see things that we don't like, but yet we're still trying to maintain and continue to move forward. There again, this is not our rest. And if you would, officer, give me Micah 6 and 8. The book of Micah 6 and 8. You know, there's things that's required of us, Israel. And the spirits that when you see how the Most High moves in the earth, you know, there's spirits that he attached to prophets that you can see how they conduct themselves. And there's a spirit that we see in the earth, and I'm telling you, the more humble thou art, the more great you can be in the Most High. But you have to bring forth a spirit of being humble in this gospel. You do. You have to. Read that.
Micah chapter 6, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
He have showed thee, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of thee?
So we'll touch on that here in Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12, that the things that's required, that's keeping these commandments. So he says that, you know, that he said he has showed thee, O man, what is good. And good is keeping the commandments. That's the matter. That's our walk. That goes into our heritage. That goes into our salvation. It goes into our redemption. I'm telling you, Israel, this is the spirit that we must have. This is how we need to conduct ourselves. But what characteristic goes along with keeping God's commandment? Read on.
But to do justly and to love mercy.
And that's what we're talking about, Israel. This is the thing that you can't get away from. The Most High is operating in a spirit and trying to show us that when you deal with each other, you can deal with each other. That's fine. But make sure that the right spirits are in place, right characteristics are in order. Because if you don't, you'll be sitting over there. You can have evil against your brother. You start to dislike him for no kind of reason. You got to be careful. That's why the Most High is repeating itself. Hey, show your brother mercy. Hey, be long-suffering toward him. Be full of compassion with him. And those are the things that we have to have, because those are the things that he gave us. And those are the things you have to give to your brother and your sister. He just didn't give them to you, but you have to operate in that spirit as well. Read on.
And to walk humbly with thy God.
And that's how we have to walk. We have to walk humbly with the Most High. You have to walk that way. That's just the characteristic. That's the attribute that we must have. And when we do that, it shows forth that we deal with our people right. That's the outcome of those spirits that we should have. Let's get that. Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 in verse 12.
And
now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require?
Earlier, it's the same matter. He's saying that what is it that these requirements of us? You have to keep the commandments, but to deal with your people right, showing them mercy, showing them being compassionate toward them, and walking humbly, not taking on the right characteristics. Read on.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways.
That's the matter. That's the whole course of us, that we want to be able to deal with our people right. Read on.
And to love him.
And to do what?
And to love him.
If you love him, you will love his people. I'm telling you, you can get from one part of it to the other part, and it's through his people. And you said, well, I love the Lord. Then you would love him by loving his people. That's the attribute. That's the characteristic that you should show forth. Hey, Most High. Hey, I'm dealing with my people right. I have a love for them. I'm patient with them. I'm being merciful. I'm full of compassion. I'm being pitiful. But then you love the Most High. Be like, oh, shoot, that brother, that sister, they love me. Because he see it that you're doing it to his people. Read on. That's it.
And to serve the Lord thy God.
And to serve him or serve his people, because you're not actually serving him. It's the people that you have to serve. Read on.
With all thy heart.
And then we can love the Most High with all our heart. With that, I want you to move with me, officer. Let's go in. We're going to show a couple of videos, but I want to touch on this right quick. Daniel 4:17. Here, when you see that the things that's happening, and we're going to touch on a couple of videos. There's things that's been happening, and we're going to move over into some things that's kind of current that we all see and know. The Ahmaud trial that passed, but there was a backstory to that, and so here that we have a decision that we make, but there's a decision that the Most High is going to make when he come back here too, and how he's going to deal with the nations. So let's read that right quick. 4:17.
Daniel chapter 4 verse 17.
Uh-huh.
This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
That the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. That they may know. That's what Nation was bringing up with 39, 32.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing. This is the Most High. He's moving. You sitting there saying that, we got such and such elected. You ain't elected nobody. The Most High is moving. This is his will. Those things are being done. Those things have been sealed in the mind of men when they sleep. That's the Most High doing that thing. And we have to know that we're not doing nothing on our own. Yeah, you can go out there, throw confetti and stuff like that, wear a red shirt or a blue shirt, whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you, this thing is read that from the top again, officer.
This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
And that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. And so there's been a lot of things that we were talking about, a lot of confusion that goes on here in Babylon. There's a lot of mistrust. There's a lot of confusion that we see, there again, you name them. There's a plethora of things that goes on. So when we was looking at some of the things that we seen, let's do the video of the district attorney that fell through with the Ahmaud Arbery trial. Let's see what happened to her. Because, okay, all right, yeah, so, okay, we got you.
Y'all got it?
It's a little bit more in that verse if you want it, Captain.
All right, read on.
That the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will.
That's what it is, that he give it to whoever he will. It's not your vote. It's not what you think that your party done. He give it to whoever he will. So at the end of the day, when the matter come forth, when the decree come forth, it's of the Most High. You talking about, I think such and such is going to win this. I think such and such is going to win that. He rules in the heart of kings of men. He set kings up and bring kings down. It's him. That's his decision.
That part was heavy going into what we gonna bring out a little later about he give it to whoever he will, meaning he's in control of everything.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
So let's move it over.
It's been more than a week since a jury in Glenn County found 3 men guilty in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Now the focus is turning to the former district attorney.
So let me ask y'all now, just to kind of bring it up to speed a little bit. Now that's been a few weeks ago, right? Have they been sentenced yet?
Yes, sir.
They've been sentenced, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So all of them, even that one that thought he was going to get off.
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly, yeah. Buddy thought he was going to get off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He
even got caught up in that thing. O'Reilly, wrong place at the wrong time. That's what he thinking, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
It's been more than a week since a jury in Glenn County found 3 men guilty in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Now the focus is turning to the former district attorney who handled the investigation.
Yeah, her name is Jackie Johnson. She's been voted out of office and indicted on charges of violating her oath as well as hindering law enforcement in this investigation. As Martin Savage
Pause right there. So they done this after that trial, right? After they sentenced them, then they dealt with her immediately, right?
Right.
So they just took her out of office, right? They say they voted her out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they realized that somebody's going to have to pay the price for this. So they got her up front and got her out of there, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, play on.
As well as hindering law enforcement in this investigation. As Martin Savage reports,
so
the 3 men
convicted. What you just said? So they realized that she wouldn't. Think of it like this. They knew what she was doing in the beginning. You know how she was corrupting and stuff like that. They didn't sit there and say, "You hindering this investigation. You under arrest." Mm-hmm. They let her hinder the investigation. It was only when she got caught when they brought it up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's only when she got in trouble then they say you hindered this investigation. You know you did that. Mm-hmm. It was only after all the truth came out. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in the beginning, it wasn't so. You know what I mean? They let her get away with it. Look what they let her get away with. Play the tape.
Voted out of office and indicted on charges of violating her oath as well as hindering law enforcement in this investigation. As Martin Savage reports, the 3 men convicted are not the only ones facing the possibility of prison.
An hour after Gregory McMichael, his son Travis, and neighbor William Bryan Jr. chased down and murdered Ahmaud Arbery on a Sunday in South Georgia, Greg McMichael was on the phone.
Jackie, this is Greg. Can you call me as soon as you possibly can?
Calling Jackie Johnson, the local district attorney.
My son and I have been involved in a shooting, and I need some advice.
Stop right there. I can't take it. Hey, listen. That ain't his first time talking to her.
Mm-mm. No.
Hey, Jackie.
He knew her first name.
Yeah, hey, Jackie. Hey, you know.
And he was calm.
Yeah.
You see how calm he was?
Hey, listen, Jackie. Hey, what you doing? Hey, stop doing what you're doing. Listen, I got something to tell you. This is somebody that you sitting over there. You done
had dinner with.
Yeah, you've been their backyard.
This remind me of a scene out of Rosewood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even the voice sound like a character from Rosewood. That's how calm he was. Like, you know, like he ain't had no fear.
Listen what he said. He said we've been involved with something. He made it seem like it wasn't nothing. You done killed somebody.
You killed somebody. You ain't. Bring that back a little bit when you play it again. Cause he ain't have a care in the world. He thought Jackie was gonna hook him up.
Roll it back. There you go.
Jackie, this is Greg. Can you call me as soon as you possibly can?
Calling Jackie Johnson, the local district attorney.
I mean, he had time to wait on the call. He said, "Just call me as soon as you can." Like, you know, he could wait on Hub to return the phone call. Like, he ain't have a care in the world. Like, you know, he thought what he did was lawful. Go ahead.
District attorney.
Well, real quick, didn't he used to be an ex-cop?
One of them was.
One of them was.
I thought it was him.
Yeah, that's probably
it
why.
Was him.
That's probably why he know her.
That might have been the case, but even the language that you know he's talking to. She's the DA. You know what I mean?
Right.
She can prosecute. You know, he already trying to get out in front of that thing. You know, listen. I just want to make sure. And when it unfolds, look how much rope she gave them to hang themselves.
A normal person, Captain, would have called the police. They would have been frantic. Like y'all was saying, his voice is calm. He ain't got no emotion behind that thing.
Yeah, just kill the man.
Right.
Just kill the man and no emotion. You know, like you just killed a deer or something, you know?
My son and I have been involved in a shooting, and I need some advice right away.
For years, McMichael worked with Johnson, investigating cases for the Brunswick DA's office. Now, as he stood with Arbery's blood literally on his hands, McMichael made sure police knew about the connection.
I was chief investigator with the DA's office for 23 years, so I know what you got to do.
No one was arrested that day, or for months to come. The Georgia Attorney General contends Johnson's influence in the case...
So, you can clearly see that, you know, the laws are not for them. They just, there's nothing. The man literally standing there with blood on his hand. You got a man that's in the road dead, and they said for months. For months now. Mm-hmm. You know, this is you know, this is crazy. Play on.
Not only delayed justice for Arbery's family, but it also nearly denied it. In September, more than a year after the jury indicted Johnson for violating her oath of office and obstructing police. Arbery's family applauded the move in a virtual press conference.
And she didn't pull the trigger, but she is just as much to hold accountable as the three guys who actually did this to Ahmaud.
Johnson turned herself in at the Glenn County Jail, but was free in less than an hour and didn't have to pay any bond. According to the indictment, Johnson directed police not to arrest Travis McMichael that day, even though he shot at an unarmed Arbery 3 times, point blank, with a shotgun, hitting him twice. The indictment also says that after recusing herself, Johnson recommended another district attorney, George Barnhill, never disclosing she'd already talked to Barnhill about the case. Barnhill would send a letter to police advising the shooting was justified, saying, "We do not see grounds for an arrest of any of the 3 parties." That could have been the end of the case, if not for one thing. The public release more than 2 months later of the cell phone video showing Arbery's pursuit and murder, outraging a nation. Gregory and Travis McMichael were arrested within days. CNN's made numerous attempts to contact Johnson or her legal representation for comment, without response. Johnson's repeatedly denied any wrongdoing and defended her actions, including during a virtual debate when she was running for re-election.
I'm sorry that from the very beginning, a lie was told about how my office handled that case. That case is a terrible tragedy for our community, and it's a tragedy for the family. I'm sorry about how things happened. I'm sorry that a lie got started and I could not turn it back.
Voters didn't buy it. After 10 years in office, Johnson lost the election. Now this one's top prosecutor prepares for a prosecution like none she's ever faced before, her own.
And the 3 men convicted in Ahmaud Arbery's murder are still awaiting sentencing. We'll be sure to update you when their sentences are announced.
Hold that. That's all that video. That's fine. Give me Isaiah 59 and 7.
Isaiah chapter 59, verse 7. Their feet run to evil.
That's like the young man that was, he said, we're going down here. He kind of goes out there with Esau. Them, you see the one guy that he thought was going to get off, right? Mm-hmm. I think they say he kind of blocked the way. That one that he got in behind them. You remember this Arbery? All 3 of them. It was 3 of them, right?
Right.
2 of them was together. Then the other guy joined in with him. Mm-hmm. Then he joined in.
Yeah, he was in the whole time.
It was the whole time.
Yeah.
So he ran and got with him. The point, because he was trying to say he didn't have nothing much to do with it. He tried to get out of it, right? Mm-hmm. The last guy. Mm-hmm. But the point is, the Bible say what? Their feet what?
Their feet run to evil. And they make haste to shed innocent blood.
Shot the man shot him 3 times and hit him twice, right? Shot 3 times and hit him twice. Read on.
Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity.
So even in murder, you can see that they, it's wrong to kill an innocent man. You know what I mean? He didn't have no gun. It's wrong. But their thoughts are what?
Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity.
Read on.
Wasting and destruction are in their paths.
I'm telling you, when you see what they did to Arbery, it's just, it it was a modern day lynching.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
That's exactly what it was.
Read on.
The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings.
And I'm telling you, that's what, when it came time to judge them, she said, I don't think y'all ought to, she said, I think the story was saying that she gave them instructions not to arrest him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She gave them instructions, don't do that. She's over them. She's over the whole city, town, police department. She's over them. Her word is the law. All she had to do is say, hey, arrest him. Bring him downtown. If he shot him and stuff like that, he killed that man, none of them went to jail, right? None of them went to jail or something, right?
Mm-mm. Yeah, that conversation wasn't even supposed to go down like that, Captain. That Edomite went home that night, ate a good dinner, went to sleep like nothing had happened.
Okay. Is that all the video? That's all that one? Okay. Let's do the next one. Let's do Baltimore. Let's do Baltimore. Because when you sit there and you see that the valid decision, for our people, and there's going to be some more decisions made that the Most High, Officer Nation had already spoke on that thing. What till we see, we start showing how the Most High, this thing is changing. It's changing from communities. It's about to go. It's about to go national. It's about to go global. These decisions are made already.
Gray, his leg look broke. Look at his leg.
That is Freddie Gray.
Look at his leg. That boy's leg look broke.
Being detained a week ago by Baltimore police. The question now, how did the 25-year-old go from this to this, lapsing into a coma less than an hour later and dying yesterday?
The questions that many of you have are the same questions that we're asking.
The attorney for Gray's family alleges the police are covering up what really happened. Baltimore police say they spot Gray and begin to approach him at 8:39 in the morning on April 12th. For reasons not yet disclosed. They say Gray immediately runs away. Just a minute later, police take Gray into custody. And then 14 minutes later, at 8:54 in the morning, this is the first video we see of the event. Officers load Gray into the police van. Police say video evidence indicates Gray's conscious and speaking at the time. A half hour later, police request paramedics bring Gray to a hospital. Gray's family attorney says he lapsed into a coma and underwent extensive surgery. His spinal cord was severely injured, and a week later, he died at 7 in the morning. So two looming questions. Why did police pursue Gray? And what happened to him while he was in their custody that resulted in his death?
The officers believed that Mr. Gray was either immediately involved or had been recently involved in criminal activity. And they decided to make contact with Mr. Gray. Now, that is still a bit vague.
This most recent mystery into a deadly police encounter, sparking more outrage.
No justice, no peace.
In a nation already embroiled in debate over police tactics and use of force. Though in this most recent encounter, Baltimore's mayor promises answers.
I want citizens to know exactly how it happened. And if necessary, I will ensure that we will hold the right people accountable.
Now, in this particular case, it goes back a few years, but he was kind of mingled. They they said what less than an hour, from when they got their hands on him, they roughed him up pretty good.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I think that, they talk about his vertebrae, he was kind of mingled up real bad. They try to say that something about the vehicle was going down the road, going over humps and stuff like that, kind of beat him up back then in that paddy wagon and stuff like that, like the road did it to him.
They wouldn't do that.
Them people's crazy as hell. Give me Psalm 55 and 20.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
So they could have arrested him. They could have got him or whatever. You know, they said that, you know, that chief or whatever, that man was just straight lying. You know, he was sitting there saying, well, you know, they went and got him and they went to arrest him. You know, whatever it was, he wasn't that much of trouble. You know, I forgot all the logistics of the case. There was, you know, with this, but I'm telling you, you know, that this doesn't make no sense, man. You know, but go ahead, read on.
He hath broken his covenant.
Read.
The words of his mouth are smoother than butter.
So he's sitting over there and stuff like that, having the people, but, you know, all the things that he was saying, you know, even her, she got up there and stuff like that. She said, well, I will, you know, I'll be held accountable. You know, listen, you know, people are dying. You know, that's just great murder. You know, modern day lynching. I'm telling you. Read on.
But war was in his heart.
That's all they wanted to do and stuff like that. They, you know, these are my boy call them down in Texas. He call them something soldiers. But he be going in on that. That's what they are. You know, race soldiers, I think, or something like that. He tags them as. You know, that he's right. That's what they are. They, you know, they just kind of come at people. You know, ain't trying to arrest them and take them down, even based on whatever they think they may have done wrong. You know, they're not even trying to do that. Just get the body bags. You know, get the tags ready. That's some evil stuff. Say something right there. Read on.
His words were smoother than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Right, because war was in his heart. I'm telling you. You know, you can't, you know, you mess around and call them, tell them you want them to come out there and survey something, going on, stuff like that, mess around, turn that thing against you. You be the one they be sitting over there, you know, you like, hey, I called you out here. I'm telling you. Don't make no sense, man. That's all that video? We got another one, right? We got one more. We got another one. We got a couple more. Israel.
God. Man.
Look how they doing people out here. Got him bleed on the ground. He crying. Man, sick.
Please, I can't breathe. Please, man. Please, somebody help me.
We all know that, pause right there. We all know this one right here is one that, you know, kind of goes back, and we all kind of knew where we was that day, and when we seen what had happened to Floyd that day, George Floyd, and
can I bring out a script for that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me get Ezekiel 35.
You know, as you get that though, also, you know, you have you know, like we're here right now, and we you know, on the Bible book of our Father, all praise to the Most High. But there's a part like, you know, it kind of, when you see things like that, it kind of hits home. You can have your voice up, then my voice kind of drop. I'm sitting there thinking like, you know, why my voice? Because that's meaningful. It touches us. You know what I mean? It kind of takes you to a place where, you know, look the injustice.
What they doing to our brother?
Yeah, you know, you can't be like, you know, kind of, you know, like, you know the Most High is going to bring judgment to them. That's what we're going to be touching on here in a minute, right? We're going to get to that because you see that the things that, you know, our people, you know, judgment must first. That's what we're talking about. Israel begin at the house of the Most High. It does deal with us. Yes, our people are evil. Some of the Most High have to deal with them. Some of them do get put to death. That's true. But then there's some injustice. There's some innocent blood out here a lot of people are dying from too as well. And that was one that we all, there again, I say, you know, we kind of knew where we was at. But go ahead, also bring out your precept.
Read 35:1.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it,
Okay, Mount Seir is going to Esau. Get that just to prove the point. 36 and 8 Genesis. Genesis 36 and 8. Read that. Let's prove it.
Genesis chapter 36, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir.
Mm-hmm.
Esau is Edom.
Esau is Edom. Okay, so this is going to the so-called red man or the so-called white man. Read that again.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Seir.
Against Esau. Read.
And prophesy against it.
Speak against him, Ezekiel. Jump down to 5.
Verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Read it from the top again.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
So this is going to Esau having that perpetual hatred against the children of Israel. And what else did he do? And he shed the blood of the children of Israel. Okay? So this is talking about Esau. Nobody but Esau and Esau alone in this chapter right here. That Esau have a perpetual hatred toward the children of Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And he has shedded the blood of them. So how did he shed the blood of the children of Israel? Okay, look at the transatlantic slave trade. Look at what he did to Gad when he came over here in the conquest. Okay, when the conquistadors came over here and slaughtered all the Native Americans. Okay, when they almost wiped the entire tribes off the country. Okay, genocide. Read on.
By the force of the sword in the time of their calamity.
Okay, so he did this in a time of their calamity when the Lord was punishing them for their iniquity. Okay, then Esau, and this just not at one particular time. This been over the course of history that Esau has been dealing with our people in their calamity. When they see the Lord have dealing with us, punishing us, they get on the back end of that. When do what? And they add on to it. During the time of our calamity, when we were wicked and the Lord started to judge us and deal with us, then they seen a way. Okay, let me get in on this. They're down. Let me kick them down even further. Okay. Right. Go ahead. You want to say something more?
Right. You absolutely right, officer. You know, it didn't just happen in slavery. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, we just watched, what was that, 3 videos? George Floyd getting choked to death. You got Freddie Gray,
Aubrey, that's 3.
Ahmaud Arbery being shot down in the street for no reason. So these things is happening, and guess what? They gonna be judged for these matters, just like we was judged for sinning against the Most High, being put into slavery, and having these afflictions happen to us in the land of our captivity. They gonna get judged for these things as well. Get Revelations 19 and 11. Let's get Revelations 19 and 11. Let's read some of the judgments that's going to happen to them.
Revelations chapter 19, verse 11.
Because you know what it is, like I mentioned earlier, Cap, they don't know who they dealing with.
Right.
They don't know who they dealing with. The Most High and his son, they are men of war. All right, go ahead, read that.
And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
That's talking about he that sat upon that white horse is Christ, called Faithful and True. Read on.
And in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
And in righteousness he does judge and make war. So that judgment is coming right here to Babylon. All right, read on. And he gonna make war against them. Read on.
His eyes were as a flame of fire. And on his head were many crowns.
King of kings. Read on.
And he had a name written that no man knew. But he himself. And he was clothed.
So he had a name written that no man knew. I'm going to leave that right there. That's a whole different point. But go ahead. Read on.
And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood.
So why is his clothes dipped in blood? Because it said he coming to judge and make war. So best believe they going to feel that wrath as well. All right.
Hey, and it just said he got a head with many crowns.
He taking crowns. Give me that.
You know what? There's another video. Hey, get the other video. I want to speed this up a little bit. This guy right here. I want y'all to hear that. Nate Sean, you kind of got in front of this. This is what they know a little bit. This is what they know, what we know. But they don't know what we know, but they know their time is expiring. Let's see what they say to each other when they come together. Bring this over. I know you want
the American empire,
and it is an empire,
is
by the way.
coming to an end.
Hold that right there. It is an empire. He called it right. It's not a United States. It's an empire. He nailed it. He tells them that. They're comfortable with each other. This is I won't call it a think tank, but I will say that these are people that's in the know. They kind of know. You know, they get people that's in high places. So he's one that's kind of know how the wheels are turning, and he gets to explain to them what he thinks going on. And this is what he said. Start from the top again.
Yeah, let me see that. I want him to say that again.
The American empire is coming to an end.
So we know it's coming to an end. We know that Babylon is coming down. They know it too.
Look at his face.
He's trying to tell them what they can do. Oh, he's trying to get out to them, but he realizes and he tells them the ultimate truth that it's eventually going to come down. He tells them that. Play on.
The U.S. economy is being drained by wars in the Middle East and vast military expansion across the globe. It is burdened by growing deficits, along with the devastating effects of deindustrialization and global trade agreements. Our democracy has been captured and destroyed by corporations that steadily demand more tax cuts, more deregulation, and impunity from prosecution for massive acts of financial fraud. All the while looting trillions from the U.S. Treasury in the form of bailouts.
Hey, pause right there. So they get on us about loans or whatever, but he's saying that they get bailouts. He said billions, trillions of dollars. Government just give money. Hey, what you need money for? They just getting it. They robbing this country blind, with their eyes open, with no guns. I'm telling you, they getting that money. These bills, these laws and stuff they passing, it's all about the money. They taking that money. Play on.
The nation has lost the power and respect needed to induce allies in Europe, Latin America, Asia, and Africa to do its bidding. Add to this the mounting destruction caused by climate change, and you have a recipe for an emerging dystopia. Overseeing this descent at the highest levels of the federal and state governments is a motley collection of imbeciles, con artists, thieves, opportunists, and warmongering generals.
Who's it
and
calling?
Yes, I am also.
Right there.
Right,
who's the thieves? Who is calling thieves?
His own people.
His own people. Those they wear neckties and suits, and they got senators and D's and R's in front of their names. He's telling these people are the ones that's getting this money. He's telling you who's taking it, and they're in cahoots with these Fortune 500 companies or these elite companies now, as you would have it.
He called them thieves, Cap.
What?
Hey, get Habakkuk 1:6 real quick.
Habakkuk chapter.
Let's read about these thieves.
Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 6. Oh, you want me to start at verse 6? How are the things of Esau searched out?
No, Habakkuk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had the trigger on that one. Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 6. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation.
That bitter and hasty nation. Read on.
Which shall march through the breadth of the land.
So what they do when they came here to America? They marched through the breadth of the land. Doing what? Read on.
To possess the dwelling places that are not theirs.
Thieves coming through to possess the dwelling places that is not theirs. All right. So he knows exactly who they are.
Right.
Their history confirms who they are. Thieves taking the land of the natives. All right, go ahead, Cap.
All right, play on.
Collection of imbeciles, con artists, thieves, opportunists, and warmongering generals. And yes, I am also speaking about the Democratic Party.
No, you're speaking about all of them. Stop playing.
They know that.
The empire will limp along, steadily losing influence until the dollar is dropped as the world's reserve currency, plunging the United States into a crippling depression and instantly forcing a massive contraction of our military machine. Short of a sudden and widespread popular revolt, which does not seem likely, the death spiral appears unstoppable, meaning the United States as we know it will no longer exist within a decade or at most 2.
Pause right there. So he said that he don't think it might have 20 years or 10 years or a decade or 20 years. He's telling you, he's warning them rather, our time is about up here. Y'all need to know this. Y'all been paying me to hang around and get this think tank information to you. Their time ain't long. That's why I was saying earlier, Israel, we got to be about our Father's business. They know this place is coming down. They got you thinking everything is hunky-dorky, we good here, stuff like that. I can go to a mall. I can go to Walmart. All that stuff is temporal. It won't be long. They know their time is up. They only have nothing but a short time.
Let me bring up something. I'm going to get straight to the point and end it too. Go to Isaiah 14 because I don't mean to
we can drop that. We drop that when it comes. I know you got a couple you want to bring out too. I'm done with that one. That's it. He said it. That's the point we're trying to get to. I just wanted the nation here. They realize that their time is over. So when you the prophets say that the time is drawing nigh, Israel, we have to hearken unto what the prophets are saying because they're telling us that we know that their time is short. You know, it won't be long. They've been telling us. They trying to whistle what we've been telling them the whole time. Don't be dog whistling now. You know, don't be dog whistling now. This is about to be a wrap.
This is what I think about when he just brought that out. Go to Isaiah 14:9.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
So other nations are coming up as America is falling. He just basically told us that the dollar is losing its value.
Right.
That basically saying we falling.
Right, but he went on to say that the allies they once had, they don't have them no more.
Exactly.
That's what he was saying. That what we thought we were, we're not what we were.
And that's going. I'm not going to bring it out, but let's segue into what we was about to bring out.
Yeah.
But read that 9 again.
Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
So the countries that America was ruling over or had the preeminence over are moving to meet America as America's falling. These countries that America was looking down upon are rising. Read on.
It stareth up the dead for thee.
Read the part again.
It stareth up the dead for thee. Even all the chief ones of the earth.
All the chief countries that America was looking down upon, they are rising above America now. Read on.
It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
All these other kings, all these other nations throughout this earth are rising up as America as being so vulnerable right now. So, they can be touched now. Read.
And they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we?
So they're looking at America and they're seeing this feeble president with a woman next to him. You know?
Dang.
And what they said, read that part again.
Art thou also become weak as we?
They said, or now you becoming weak as us? Like, you could be touched. You could be touched now. You got this feeble man running your country now. You are now weak. you like how we was.
Right. You know, you made me think of Joe. They tried to get Joe to come up the sidewalk. They tried to get him to walk up.
Wait, he went in the other door. We gotta bring that
out. Joe be off. Joe be off. They know he off too. They know he off. Get the next.
He didn't think he did nothing wrong.
Yeah. Get the next video. Drop that one. Get the next video. I think that's it, officer. That's the one we're talking about.
Nah, that ain't what I want.
Okay. Yeah. Move to the next one. See if that's.
I don't see nothing.
Is that it? That's the one. U.S.
Go back to the other one. Let's see.
That's that one right there did with old Putin.
I don't know. I don't think I posted that there.
Okay. Okay. Go back. That's the one right there. There it is. That's them. That's the one that man talking about China was more important.
Now go to the other one that we just seen. Go to the other one. Let's do that one first.
Yeah, Israel, be patient with us. Here we come. We got it.
Play that.
The top Space Force general warning the U.S. is lagging behind China and Russia in developing hypersonic defense technology.
Hear what she said? The top Space Force general. That's what you were bringing out, Officer Nashawn, that when them troops come, they said they're already the top Space Force general.
They looking for it.
Yeah, that guy, he's got something to say now. That's the new general on the block. Yeah,
He's the man.
I'm trying to tell you. Oh, Space Force general? That's the one they believe in.
Hey, you can stick your chest out and be the Space Force general, huh?
All right.
Go to the beginning. This is what they say.
The top Space Force general warning the U.S. is lagging behind China and Russia in developing hypersonic defense technology. This as U.S. officials
pause that for a minute. It said, what did it say? Top Space Force general says America is lagging behind China and Russia, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Can I read that script one more time?
Read it again. That's why
Go to 9 again. Isaiah 14:9.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Mm-hmm.
It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
It have did what?
Have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
So it raised up from the throne all the kings of the nation. Now you got an article that says U.S. can't defend itself against China, Russia missile technology. General King, who he's American, right?
Yeah. Oh, Force General.
So they even know they weak now. They know they vulnerable now. They know they can't stand up against China and Russia together. Read, keep reading.
And they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?
Read.
Thy pomp is brought down to the grave.
So it says that pomp has been brought down to the grave. So let's go into your pride. Your pride had to be you losing some of your pride if you say that we know how prideful Americans is. For him to say that the U.S. can't defend itself against China, Russia missile technology, that means they have lost some of their pride. Y'all follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
They are losing some of their pride to even admit that. Even if you in the world, if you scared of somebody, don't admit it.
Yeah, you don't show
you don't show your fear, your weakness. You know what I'm saying? But it had got so bad where they're showing their weakness. Read on.
And the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
This is going to all they philosophies that nobody like the mosquito bite. You know what I'm saying? That's one of their vows. You know what I mean? That they're spreading. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
Meaning they were calling destruction on earth, but now they're admitting that they can't defend themselves against China. Go ahead, Cap.
No, that's an excellent point, because go back to where we were. Let it play this time. I think that Officer hit it home, but I want you to see that they know that they don't have what it takes to tangle with Russia and China.
Tangle with them.
Yeah. they ain't got what it takes. That's why the scripture says, "How thou have fallen."
Mm-hmm.
You used to have that mustard. You ain't got no mustard now.
You had it all.
Yeah. You used to have that.
Remember the Patriot missile?
Oh yeah.
They had all the good inventions, right? Damn.
Can I get you to play it? Thank you.
The top Space Force general warning the U.S. is lagging behind China and Russia in developing hypersonic defense technology. This as U.S. officials reportedly confirmed China's hypersonic missile test in July was more advanced than initially thought. Let's bring in Fox News senior strategic analyst General Jack Keane. And I noted that David Thompson, he's the vice chief of space operations for the United States, says we are not as advanced as the Chinese or the Russians in terms of hypersonic programs. Is that a problem, General?
Yeah, it absolutely is, Dana. I mean, the United States is used to having a qualitative advantage over our adversaries for decades, and this has begun to change, not just with this system, but with some others. And clearly the Chinese and the Russians have technology that we do not have in terms of its deployability yet. The Army will produce a system, in 24, the Navy in 25 on surface ships, and also on submarines in 27. But that will still leave us with a major problem, Dana, because we don't have any way to defend against this system. And what we're involved in developing as quickly as we can is advanced satellites with sensors on it to be able to track this system as it orbits the Earth's atmosphere, and secondly, to be able to intercept it. So both of those developments have to take place, and they are a top priority, certainly for the Pentagon. And listen, we have said before that China has a quantitative advantage over us.
Pause it right there. You can see that they clearly know that they outmatched, right? In that same chapter, go up to verse 4. Go up to verse 4.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased.
Right. They realize that it's over for them. Read on. Here's more on it.
The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked.
Right. And so I'm telling you, this place knows they know what they're outmatched. They know that this is it's only for a length of days. Esau had told them those that was in there. He said, "Listen, we may have 10 years, maybe 20 years here." And they know that this thing is winding up, and that's their time. The Most High time is different from their time. So it says that he said he come quickly, so he gonna be moving. And I'm telling you that this place right here, they know it. It's just a matter of time, Israel. That's why we have to be faithful, hold on, look up for our redemption draweth now. We didn't be looking up. I'm telling you, yes, we're pilgrims passing through. This is not our rest. We do truly get it. And the thing of it is that they know that this place is coming down. This video right here, was there more to this one? Which the other one? You kind of flipped on them. Get that one that go back out and get the other video. That one you had show, officer. That one, I think it was a military buildup or something. They were showing that one. Which one was that one?
It's on the list. Let me see. All right, come on.
Hey, while y'all looking for that, get one script.
Yes, sir.
Get 2nd Ezra chapter 11, verse 45. Because you're absolutely right, Cap. They time is up. They got to be judged for the atrocities that they did to our people. They have not felt that judgment as of yet, but that thing is coming. Go ahead and read that.
2nd Ezra chapter 11, verse 45.
Go down.
And therefore appear no more, thou eagle.
Who's the eagle of America?
That's it right there.
Therefore, go ahead, play the video.
No.
It might go. It might play the video. It might go with.
Yeah, it's gonna go.
No, it's the MSNBC. What are you doing?
All right. Go back there. Go back to the Bible book of our fathers. There you go.
Right there.
Right there.
Right there.
That one.
But first, tensions boiling up between the U.S. and two of its top foreign adversaries. Chinese and Russian officials are condemning U.S. military action near their borders and touting the, quote, unbreakable friendship between the two countries. Coinciding with a virtual meeting between Beijing and Moscow defense leaders yesterday, the Chinese government issued a statement accusing the U.S. of undermining regional stability by recently sailing a guided missile destroyer through the Taiwan Strait. Tensions between China and Taiwan have increased in recent months, with fears China may be plotting an invasion of its neighbor. President Biden last month pledged to support Taiwan in the event of an invasion. As for Russia, Kremlin officials blasted...
Yeah, hold that right there. Go ahead.
Let me get Isaiah 13. We got to bring this out.
Yeah,
we got to. You want to bring it out?
No, go ahead. Sean, I think you're holding one. How much time we got back to IT? We good? We got a few minutes?
You want to get in first?
We got a few minutes? All right. Okay, look. They told us we run out of time, so make it quick. Go ahead, make it quick. Go ahead, pull it.
I'm going to get straight to the point. 13 and 4.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people. A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations.
Of what?
Of the kingdoms of nations gathered together.
So the Lord is doing this. Read on.
The Lord of the host mustereth the host of the battle.
What is the Lord doing?
Mustereth the host of the battle.
Got Russia trying to take Ukraine. Got China trying to take Taiwan. Got Babylon saying no. We gonna do something about that.
And you see Poland. We got the map over here. Poland, the United States trying to move into Poland, trying to get closer. They said that was part of the chess play. They said so. They trying to move into Poland to try to bring forth some balance where they can get a little closer. I think it's crazy, man. Hey, about Book of Our Fathers. Hey, we're glad to have y'all here tonight with us. I'm Captain Dakar. They told us that our time is running up. Officer Yee, Officer Nashawn, Officer
Part 2.
Zaria. It might be a part 2 to this. Okay. With that, we're gonna lean back.
Yes, sir. Don't neglect to give alms. For those who would like to give alms, fill out an envelope and place it in the alms box. To give alms online, donate to IUIC Concord via PayPal at iuic.concord.nc@israelunite.org. Also, don't neglect to give to the Booster Club via PayPal at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org.
Hey, I'm there again. I was giving a shout out to about Book of Our Fathers, but we're glad to have y'all here with us, Israel. Thank you for your time. Glad to be here with you. Hey, we want to give a shout out to the technical team, the About Book of Our Fathers crew. Who are they? Officer Zaria, Officer Kaziel, Officer Yehoshua, Officer Gidron, Soldier Israel, Officer Soldier O'Shea, Officer Soldier Uriah, and Soldier Ezekiel. We appreciate the help that they bringing forth to make this show possible. Hey, we appreciate y'all, Israel. We know that there again, the time is running out, but with that, as Captain Dakar would say to y'all, we love y'all as a nation. Pray for our people. With that, we say shalom.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel.
Messiah Christ bless.
Messiah Christ bless.